Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi everyone, this is Orly Davis and this is from Jerusalem with Love. Today is November 4th, 2020. And we are here in Israel, the only land, the only land in the whole world, holding still and praying for God for a good result of the U.S. election. We must act now. And congratulations to incredible race that Senator Graham bring to South Carolina. He bring joy and honor, and we are so happy for you. To Congressman Joe Wilson, that keeps his work for God and country, congratulations is due to. In South Carolina, we are honored to have him. And more, we are so happy that Congressman Don Bacon from Nebraska, our new incredible friends. Congrats for a great race. It is a global event, The people tend to undermine it, but we are in the world in crisis. And the forces of good and bad are in play. We all know that the year 2020 put us all in check, and this election can culminate how much we must consider the repercussion and the result of this election. The race is done, and when all said and done, we need to take a step back and see the facts and consider that the very basic idea that we had 100 million ballots by mail is not a regularity that we should ever happen. However, no matter what, we still see Donald Trump might win. And frankly, Biden kind of conceded last night when he said to his supporters, keep the faith. And it was the best line that one Democrat can say to another. God got to them too, keep the faith. This is what we're looking into America that says, we have a God, and in God we trust. That's why I trust in you. So let's go to a break, and we'll be back after this. Keep on talking with a friend, and we can start making sets out of this amazing election. Okay, let's stay put, and we'll be back.
Israel is located in one of the most volatile areas in the world. Israel is an island of stability in a sea of war and unrest. In the midst of this turmoil, Israel stands out as a beacon of order and human progress. Each week we update you on what's happening in this, the Jewish state, a true light unto the nations. This is Jay Shapiro. Join me every Thursday on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. We were talking about the election and how it's important for the world that we have a great resolve, and whatever happens, it has to be, firm and expedient. And meanwhile, in the world, we have some situation that the Jewish people can be concerned and should be concerned. And I invited my friend, a man that is an American, but he's French too. And he lives with us in Israel and understands he is a political savvy. Jeremy Dare Edry, welcome to the show.
It's an honor and pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you, sir. Now, Jeremy, what do you think is happening with this incredible election? Let's start with that.
The elections just showed that the American population is very divided. And Joe Biden and Donald Trump are neck and neck in terms of, the different states. we thought that Donald Trump was ahead, and now it looks like Biden is he's leading up to Trump. But I do believe that in the end, Trump will win.
Yeah, I know. And the world needs stability, especially the stock market, the economy, and also the world of politics, from China to Russia to Iran. We need to stabilize the image that America projects to the world, because if we are steady, if America is steady, the world will be steady. Because if we run into chaos, if there is any kind of hoo-ha there, it's going to create some kind, and usually the Jews are the first to get hurt. And recently we just had an attack in Vienna, a strange place from all places in Europe, that the Jewish center got attacked by a shot. What do you know about that? What do you think the feeling about that?
Sadly, Europe and Vienna especially was attacked by ISIS supporters who were able to infiltrate and commit an atrocity against the Viennese. Not so much against the Jewish population, even though some of the shootings took place around the main synagogue. And sadly,
Right.
Europe is dealing with a fight against radical Islam and European culture.
Which is a libertarian, something that is really against the Muslim culture. I don't know how they try to mix them all together, but I know that in France they're really resisting it, and Macron is really adamant about that. I know that you're busy, and I don't want to take much of the time because the communication is a little weak. Let's talk some other time about what you think, and what we'll get a hold. If you have some news about the election, let me know. Okay?
Sure. It's an honor and pleasure. I apologize for the connection.
No, I know. Hey, we'll get you another time. Not a problem. Thank you, Jeremy. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you. So we started by saying that, the Democratic Party, yesterday Biden was saying that, you keep the faith. And when a Democratic Party that is against God, that negate God constantly, as a leader that say keep the faith, means that a reckoning is going to come. Because when you have a tshuva, we say in the Jewish life, when you come back to God, so God makes some account with you. It's not like you come to God and said, okay, now everything is going to be beautiful because I just came to God. No, sweetheart. You come back to God. Now let's see what you did. If you want to be clean, you have to make tikkun olam. You have to fix it. So the Republican are always, in with God, and they're constantly there, and they are redeemed themselves, and they are, even though it's hard, but it's the walk with God. So we are always in the process. But the Democrats that negate God, and all of a sudden they need to pray, it means that they're going to start having some real question. And the real question was that nobody answered is why they had a free card in the last election, and all this investigation about, the computer mischief and all the wrongdoing that they did. And actually they were spying on people, and it was on the top of the FBI even, and they are coming clear. FBI is really doing clean house, and I know people there, and they are really adamant about doing it because it's an incredible, honorable organization that we love. So what happened is that the Democrats will have their time. And once you mess with Senator Lindsey Graham, that is the chairman of the committee that make all this investigation, you guys are going to have a party because he's going to investigate the Benghazi. A Benghazi that nobody understood what happened there, and it didn't pass and didn't fly. And you guys in the Democratic Party left the soldier on the ground without people to protect them. You left them, getting killed, and that's Benghazi needs to be people need to be accountable about it and take responsibility. And there is no way that you can get away with that without the day of a hearing or something about this. I know that you guys have a hearing, but we all know the fact, and we all know the fact. So you have to remember that. Now let's think what we're going to be next. The next is going to be the poor, incredible situation where they are putting up 1 million ballots that came from a mail that takes a logistic of incredible organization to organize 100 million people ballots into the mail. I want to know what mail offices they use, because I'm trying to get a mail from America for the last 2 weeks and it never showed up. So I wonder if we are still having something that operate, in beside the election committee, somebody else that organized this, because we tried to get ballots, we didn't get ballots to vote. As American, we wanted to vote and we couldn't. You see, you write your name, blah blah blah, and nothing gets in the mail. So I don't know how 100 million did get it, but it's all a question. So we don't want a recount when you have Wisconsin, or what do you have? You have Michigan with 49% both, neck and neck, and there is 11,000 just in the, we want to have an audit just to see a sample of this incredible mailer that you have. Because if the sample will prove us that we are not, we sing true and this is all legit because it was coronavirus, by all means. But if we suspect that 100 million people got the mail and their names that are on the ballots that never voted or voted, but weren't conscious of that because they used the name, we want to know. And, and I'm putting my name out. If you find my name that I voted, I want to know how I voted, okay? At least if there was a Republican. No, I'm serious, guys. It's 100 million people in the mail, and they all got to the election, and then you got them, and then we count them, and we are not going to audit it, at least a sample, when we have such a close call, because that close call, I can have a recount. Michigan, you have a 49.3 and 49. It's like 11,000. Then you have Wisconsin. Then you have Nevada. Then you have Pennsylvania. You guys could do a recount, but we don't want. We want a sample. I think will be, the only thing is really, truly, we need to stabilize this fast and make it go away, because on the 21st of January or the 20th, we want to see a president that walk, and probably it will be Donald J. Trump walking the street of Pennsylvania when everybody's gone. It's going to be a sunny, shiny, beautiful day that we all going to cheer up and say, cheer to the leader of the free world. That's how we're going to control the world from a third world war that is in the mix if we are changing this leader. I'm here. I see the stuff from out of the box. That's why I'm here. I'm in the Holy Land. My prayer is with God. I walk with God, and I pray to God, and I cry today just to say, why this frustration? This is my America. What happened to her? So we know that we need to come to terms with our life, that we have election, but let's go. It's not the end of the world. It's not even Hollywood. Come on, we can have, different kind of interests. Not it's all in politics, God. For some reason, politics become the most incredible story in the world. No, it's boring. Come on, it's administrative work for the people, by the people. Not a big deal. So let's rotate and think how we make this work. And I say God gave Donald Trump this time to test him. This is the test, the ultimate test of a great leader. And he needs to come before God and to know what to do true. I have always an opinion about how to come before God and make honest and fix things. And I'm going to share it with you in the next segment. So stay put. We'll be back after this. Just remember, we're doing it all together under God. Okay, let's go to a break.
The Tamar Yona Show.
Tamar? She's sassy.
She's smart.
She's funny.
But she's also a real Jewish mother.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tamar Yona. And yes, I can be all of those things, but at Israel News Talk Radio, I'm here to bring you the news stories and guests that you may not hear anywhere else. Join me live on air Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays for the most unique and bold talk radio in Israel.
The Tamar Yona Show.
Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Did you know this psalm and many others were composed by a Jewish shepherd and musician who later became a king? Would you like to know some of the inner meanings of psalms to help you connect with God and strengthen your soul? An exciting and easy-to-read book is now available which will help you do just that. Software for the Soul, Psalms for Everyone, available on Kindle, Audible, and Amazon.com. Software for the Soul.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is From Jerusalem with Love. And today we want to welcome our friends, our beloved United States of America, Israel, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Jamaica, Finland, Chile, France, Nigeria, and New Zealand. So happy to have you here, guys. You are wonderful. And I know Jamaica, you are special. You have this incredible island people love and join. I wish one day I could come and visit. I really like to. I know that Tony Robbins talk about it a lot, and he's one of the incredible teacher in this universe that God gave us. And you know, the universe sent us teachers in time of recollection of what's going on, and that's the time where I present myself as a little spiritual and teacher and show you a little way how to get back to your fixing, because I know God in my way and my deed. And of course, when you get recognized, and this is something that I know for since I was born, that I was recognized because it messed up, you know, I wasn't supposed to be born and I was born. So yeah, when you walk with God since you're a kid, you know that you have a purpose. So you learn what's to do. And when the time, always, the rule of thumb, when we have an incredible challenge in front of us and the world seems like it's falling on our head and there is no way out, you have to look higher and go higher and do something against all odds and invest your energy to do well. What does it mean? It means when you have a completely, you know, economic challenge, you go and invest and you try to help whoever need, because there is always somebody poorer than you. And now we have an incredible test for the leader of the free world. This is Mr. Donald Trump. We know he's a great man. We know that. We know he has a heart of gold. We do know that. We know that he speaks a lot because he has to fight. You know, that's the rule of thumb. In order for him to win, he fights, because you need to check and control constantly. And that's what he do. That's why his hands-off leadership is not like letting you go. He is on top. But what he needs to do, let's look what America did in the last segment, okay, the Democrat did it wrong, right? But they still got the Congress. They still all in Congress. So this Congress needs to redeem himself, because it's going to be this time that the Congress is start working with the world, because we need to think about food, about new energy, and to pollution and clean the environment. Stop talking about climate change, because you cannot control the climate. God is in control. You can change the pollution that you submit and put, accountable. But what the president has to do, the president has in his possession, in his capability, the idea of those children that got lost in the immigration process. We all know that they got into America from Mexico, from Guatemala, from all the rest, and they got separated from their parents. Now, this is an act of kindness, of grace, okay? We're not talking about legally what you need to do. Legally, you are wrong, America. You took those children and you separate them from the people, from their parents. This is actually a kind of a kidnapping if you think about it. But let's assume that you caring for them. Okay, this is a social service. So let's give it to you. But these kids, because you cannot find their children, and they are like 500 or whatever number it is, I don't know how many, but whoever they are, you need to redeem yourself by giving them the best of America can give to orphan. Like you have a great school, a prep school for orphan. You made them an example of the kindness of America. You teach them you send them to school, you teach them sports, you teach them behavior, you bring them to the American level of the top notch. That's how you redeem yourself. You took the children in wrongdoing. Make grace. Create a grace before God. This is a rule of thumb. Now, I'm not telling you this is what you only do, but this is, it pop out immediately today when you see all the mothers that lost their children and they cannot reconnect, or the children that cannot reconnect with their mothers. So this is wrong. And you know what? You hurt those souls so much that only by telling them that this sacrifice that made will be worthwhile in the long run, you may redeem yourself. And as a president, if you orchestrate such a goodwill gesture to the world, you will be compensated. This is a trial, and we all know. Every time that something is not secure in your pocket, you know that God is in play. Now we know more. We know that God is in play because we have the corona. The corona is like a guillotine that goes on top of everybody, and people will say, oh, I don't care for the mask. And people say, oh, wow, they don't care. They don't understand the science. And I say it's philosophy. People who believe in God, or they trust that God will protect them, they take the risk. But it's a gambling, okay? You take the gambling, and we do not gamble with our life. That's the rule of thumb. And that's why you need to put your mask now. That's why even that it doesn't help, even that it's the only way to pretend that we're doing something about it, or they're doing something about it. You need to do at least your conscience of the situation. We're not pretending it doesn't exist, because when God put in front of you a deal, you need to call it. But what you invest in it, you invest in the medical field. You must invest something that you neglected for so long. Medication for the elderly, you negated, you neglected. You need to take care of them. And of course, make sure that the people who live in the hospital live in a certain way. And that's where maybe this combination of medicine for all that we had before and the private medicine that America offer has a gap. We need to think about how to amend that gap. It's impossible that people that are free cannot have medical insurance because it's too expensive. You know, in Israel, I can give you an example. Everybody has Social Security as a basic treatment. If they want to have an extra one, they can pay an extra. But it's not fair to eliminate the medication from people just because they cannot afford it. It's an act of grace to give them the medication because they cannot do it. That's where you win God's trust. God trusts you, President Donald Trump, with the world. The world needs the leader that care for them, and you do care. If you do that, you can create some kind, and your heart, you'll know what is on your table. You know, pardon. If you pardon somebody who makes sense to you, that's a grace. That's only the president can do. And if it's in your hand, it's in your realm, do it. Do good things from now on until the settling. Don't think about it else. Your deed will create you the honor to own. And if you let's assume if even you do not make it, you still made the good deed and God will bless you anyway. Sometimes we come for right, sometimes we come for the all right. We don't know how long we have. I know that my road is the head to teach people how to be spiritual with God and how to create the connection. That's my role in the world, and it's so hard to explain to them, that they are so scared because they don't have the trust that, of course, I do. But I know that God is there, and He wish us all to unite and stop fighting. And if America will start coming together to be the one that she used to be, the one that love each other and have fine, incredible learning. We have so many projects that we need to think about. The Space Force we still have to develop with the cybersecurity. We need to bring so many schools to America to teach them all and bring them to the next level. The incredible quantum computer that we still have to develop. It's amazing what we can do. Science is amazing. And what about arts? What about this culture? What about great movies? We have the future. Let's make it, holy. Let's create that, what Holly needs. Holiness needs some sacred ground, and sacred ground needs love, understanding, and a blessing. So let's go to a break, and we'll be back after this.
In a time where feelings have become fact, where rational thought and common sense has disappeared, one man stands above it all.
I'm Howie Sobiker, your political hitman.
Political Hitman airs every Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. North American time, 7 a.m. Israeli time, only on Israel News Talk Radio.
Are you interested in transforming your life, drawing closer to the Creator, and uncovering the deeper meanings and hidden treasures in the Hebrew Bible?
Then join me, Rav Yitzhak Michelson,
and me, William Hall,
on the Science of Kabbalah, where we are seeking to narrow the gap between what we understand of our physical and spiritual worlds. So make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. You know, we had an attack in Vienna, and the ambassador to Israel in Austria, Mordechai Rogler, says he had a tough time, and they are getting ready to make sure that all the workers and all the Jewish people in the Jewish community are okay. Now, this is a call to all the Jewish community, wherever you are. When there is a time of challenge, you guys know the routine. We don't open any gates unnecessarily, and we don't leave it open for any things to come. We make sure that we touch base with all our connection and make sure that you're all well. You can talk to the embassy, you can call the consulate, you can have your help. Every Jewish community all around the world needs to be on alert always, because this is a time of trial, and they always come after us. And thank God that in Vienna we got so lucky that the restaurant, the kosher restaurant, was locked, was closed for the lockout that Austria gave. So it was Austria a blessing that gave the Jewish community the protection. So thank God for that. But just remember, Europe is on alert. Israel, of course, is always on alert. And America, please make sure that you're all well. All over the world, we want to know that you guys are okay. Anti-Semitism is a fact. We cannot ignore it, but we can win it. And especially, in countries like United Kingdom, that it's scattered like this, and we have some people who are saying that, no, we are strong and the community can take care of business. Now, having said that, I'm very militaristic about what happens when there is something going on. And the feeling is that the Abraham Accord, for some reason, negated the Palestinian. And we say no. Abraham Accord is included all the children of the world, everybody. Abraham is the patriarch of all nations. So we are brother of the Islam, Ismail was our brother, so half brother, but a son of Abraham. So all the people from Abraham are our brothers. Also, Christianity, of course, we are brothers for many years, and we share it and we cherish each other. But just remember, those Palestinians, the fields that they're negated and nobody pay attention to them. No, we don't. You see, you cannot use us to blame when you chose Hamas as your representative. Hamas was supposed to be a democratic elected representative because he was on a ballot. That organization was on a ballot in 2005. And you guys in Eastern Jerusalem that came only 5% to vote just knew that you want to be a Jerusalemite with the Jewish people instead of Palestinian, because with Israel, you get Social Security, you get payment. So instead of to go and vote, you went to Social Security office, and that was smart. Now, we are not negating anybody. We want Jerusalem to be holy to all, but we are, as the custodian of the holy sites, we need to have those keys. And Jordan needs to give up. The WAF have to give up. And what's going on right now, the standoff in Ethiopia, they're holding the Ark of the Covenant. If it's active, it's going to be a mess there. We need to, if God is in play, guys, you have to, we're talking in a different dimension. This is not something that I can explain to you if you don't get it. I talk politics and I understand politics very well. I understand the dynamic and everything, but I understand that there is a God and you need to consider it. He gives you Corona. You have to understand is in play. Now, what we do grace. It means that he is not happy with the way we are, the pollution, of of course, the way we treat people, all the economy, all the famine. You get famine all over the world, and the World Food Organization got the prize of Nobel Prize, but we need to expand. What about the seeds? What about all those seeds? What about the database that those incredible economic forum that we have in the United Nations created that needs all those 5 million, I don't know how many farmers there were on a network that needs to get information for farming, for food, for God's sake. So you guys in the stock market may be shuffling cards, maybe going on your jet, but you ignore the people of the world. And all those nations, like we talked the other week with Ilan Ronen, that says that there are nations that are not even in the United Nations, and how dare you ignore them? They're nations. If you have people who are not in and they cannot get your protection, your health, nothing, what's wrong with that organization? So the corona is to symbolize to us that the game is over. You guys in the stock market, you better break those manipulation. In Israel, all this manipulation of the construction of the food administration needs to be dismantled to small shop, to people, to mother-father operations so they can feed their children. And if for that note, you need to make sure that they open the store, for God's sake. And Benjamin Netanyahu, wake up. You are sleeping on the job. I wish somebody cherish this guy and shake him up to tell them, open those stores. You're listening to the medicine, the one who understands nothing about medicine because they cannot solve it. Now they're killing the economy. They cannot deal with that. So you let them deal with the economy, with the what about the justice system? Why don't you let them run the justice system while you're at? You let them run the police, because the police is the one that take money from the people because of this freaking mask that you don't even know that works. It's only symbolized that you guys doing something. So I'm telling you guys, you all in check. We all in check in this coronavirus. If we don't take our guts and pull our sleeves and do something about it, it's gonna be there. Now, how are we gonna make sure that those people in Syria, you negated them, you forgot them, the immigrants in Greece, how many people die? Wow! What Jamaica? They run to be free and then get dead in the ocean, and nobody cares. So, which organization do we need to call? Which organization will do the work? Which organization is responsible? We need to dismantle you all because you are doing nothing. Now, if Donald Trump is good as he is promising to be, again, with the World Trade Organization, with the World Health Organization, he needs to fix it. NATO, yes, you did fix it. Germany is coming to the plate, and, Merkel is doing a great job, and she's paying her dues. God bless them. The only thing is we need to make sure that we take care of the famine, people who need food. And the fact that here we have 1 million people that are not working in Israel, like a rate of 15%, this is unacceptable. We have a problem in Israel, we have a problem in America, but we have a problem in the world. This is our world condition, and it's dependent about this incredible masquerade that those big guys are running. So these big guys, that I know you guys, because I've been running around with you for too long. I know you, and I know how you think. You don't care. And I was the only one that cares, so I walk alone all the time and do the job no matter what, because if there is something that needs to be done, let's do it. What's the big deal? We need resources to help. Let's create those classes. Let's give them the tools. Let's go give ignorance some learning. Let's give the men some tools to learn. They are capable. Those Arab people, they can create. There's so much work to do in their hands that you don't need to be always cerebral. Sometimes art Art is incredible for the soul, and to do the thing by hands is amazing. So why don't we do that? Why can't we create a world that's worth living for? Why we are thinking about money that is in the bank? Oh, you make the bank happy? Oh, God bless you, because if you are thinking for them, you oh my God. What about those insurance you pay and you never get compensation? Tell me. Why I need to pay all those years, all this insurance, and then when business is bad, they are running out and there is nothing I can claim. There is no claim, no for life insurance, no for work insurance, nothing. They took the money and run. What's this kind of a scheme? The insurance money is the most incredible story in the world that never get paid back. It's baloney. And then they're coaching with the bank. Guys, you had a system. This is the old system. And now we had Donald Trump to come and break it. Of course it works with you, but it works with the construction. And we're planning to build it. And I'm planning to work hard to bring this covenant, the blessed Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem and build the Holy Temple. And I'm asking Jordan, concede the site. We need to connect with God. And our connection, is Almighty knows, is real and true. And when you have the Shekhinah and you have the God-given blessing, you cannot negate us. This is ours, okay? So we're doing it with love. We're doing it with care. We don't fight it for you. You gave it to us. So God bless you all. Be well. Ciao, ciao.
Where can you get the inside news on Israel? At Israel News Talk Radio, we're dedicated to sharing Israel's inside story with the world by providing our listeners with news on Israeli politics, current affairs, and Israeli Jewish culture. The Israel News Talk Radio homepage also provides you, the listener, with useful information at your fingertips, with scrolling news headlines, weather, currency exchange, Shabbat candlelighting times, and so much more. Our radio programming is always accessible and on demand. We operate absolutely free of charge for everyone, everywhere. If you love what we do, partner with us now by becoming an Israel News Talk Radio supporter. With your support, you'll be inscribed on our Israel News Talk Radio Wall of Fame. There's nothing like us in the world. Be part of something great. Israel News Talk Radio. Straight talk from Israel.
Howdy, this is Rita from League City, Texas, now living in Israel. And though my heart may have belonged to Texas, it now belongs to Israel and all the fantastic show hosts at Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Michael Solomon from Kiryat Arba, Israel. And why do I love listening to Israel News Talk Radio? Because I love listening to the interesting interviews they do and their news reporting that most other media sources don't cover.
Hey, this is Nicoleko from Malmö, Sweden. It gets pretty cold here in Sweden, so I love cuddling up with a warm cup of tea while I listen to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Frank Morris from Tennessee. Me and my dog Buster really love listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
News, opinion, and more. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.